There we go. I think we are live. I am Alison Jones. I'm the Director of Practical Inspiration Publishing, and we are the publishers of How to Write a Self-Help Book, Successful Techniques for Creating a Guide That Transforms Your Readers' Lives by Ginny Carter. And look, there's Ginny Carter. I think I'm pointing the wrong way. There's Ginny Carter. Good to see you, Ginny.
Yeah, good to see you too, Alison.
So the reason we are here today, live on your LinkedIn feed, is that I am interviewing is a very grand word. I'm having a conversation with the authors of all of the 18 practical inspiration titles that were shortlisted in this year's Business Book Awards. And Ginny's one of them. But Ginny, this is not your first rodeo, is it?
Well, yes, I know. I'm glad you brought that up, Alison, because obviously I wasn't going to. But yes, my first book did win an award as well. So I had to kind of slip that in. But I'm absolutely delighted that How to Write a Self-Help Book is included this year. It's very exciting.
Brilliant. Yeah. So your book was your first book, which you should say won sales and marketing category. I think it was, wasn't it? 21. Yes, yeah. Do you remember the year?
I think it was 2020 actually, because it was the first year of COVID, so I remember everything went online.
That's right. We awarded it in 2021, but it was it was a bit miserable, wasn't it? But yeah, hopefully this year it's going to be wonderful. So, well, first of all, Ginny, it's a bit meta, isn't it, writing about writing? What made you write How to Write a Self-Help Book?
Well, ironically, actually, it all kind of started at the Business Book Awards because, as you know, I was a judge for a few years, not this year, of course, because of entering my own book. And I for 2 years on the trot, I judged the personal development category. And it was a really interesting experience because, as you know, you have to read a lot of books in a short space of time. And through that, you can really learn what makes a good book. Like, does it grab me? Do I understand what it's about? What's the key message in it? Is it getting that across to me in the book? And so as a ghostwriter and as a book coach, this was extremely useful for me because I kind of learned, as a reader, what makes a good book. And with the personal development category, what I noticed, having looked through so many self-help books, and I am now perfect, by the way, because I have read so many of them.
That's good. So you've helped yourself massively.
For me to have. What I realised was that all the passion and the expertise came out in every book. But some of the books worked as books, and some of them didn't so well. And the ones that didn't had three things in common. The main one was that they slipped into the habit of telling people what to do rather than leading people down the path of showing them that made the only sense to do that thing. And that's a lot harder to do than just simply telling people what to do. And I thought, well, I bet when these people work with people face to face, they don't do that. I bet they're experts at helping people to see the change they need to make. But you kind of need to do that in a book as well. The other mistake was that they didn't always translate their advice into actionable steps. So people were left sometimes with a bit too much theory and not enough idea of how to put it into practice. And then the third one was that they didn't always make their credibility very clear, their authority, their experience, their right to write the book, essentially. And then so for a reader, that's a little bit disempowering because you want to be able to trust the author and know why you should follow their advice. And I think this might be a particular trait of self-help authors because it's a helping profession these authors are in, and so it maybe putting themselves up on a pedestal feels a little bit uncomfortable, whereas for other authors it's not such a big deal. So these are the three main issues, and then I kind of the idea just came to me, to be honest, when I was pottering around the house, as the best ideas often do. I thought, well, I've written a book about how to write a business book. Why don't I write a book about how to write a self-help book? Because I kind of found it frustrating. I thought these people could have done a better job, and their books could have had maybe more of an impact. So that's really how the idea was born.
Brilliant. And actually, you segued beautifully into my next question, which is, why does it matter? I feel quite passionate about this. I imagine you do too. But why does it matter that people with something to say learn to say it well in a book?
Yeah, well, I just think you can have all of the expertise and enthusiasm and passion in the world, but if you want to make a difference with your book, then you really need to learn how to become an author. You need to learn the skill of writing the book. And none of us were born knowing how to write a book. Surprise, surprise. And actually, often when I talk to people about what is the longest thing you've ever written before, when I coach them or work with them in some way, they often say, blog posts, or maybe a white paper, or sometimes essays at school, or maybe a thesis or a dissertation at university or so. But these are very different animals to books. And I think the main difference between a book and an academic piece of writing is that the person who you wrote it for was paid to read it. Whereas, of course, with a book, you're actually, it's the other way around. You're expecting people to pay you, not only with their money, but with their time and attention. So you do have to keep people motivated, engaged all the way through. So this is why the book's important. Is like, do you want to make a difference with your book? If you do, then you need to know how to write it in a way that makes that difference.
It's such a great answer. And I think often, we think about the value of the book in terms of what it's going to cost somebody to buy. And you might think, I'll give it to the person. Actually, the most scarce resources you have are your time and your attention. And you'd better be making the absolute most of somebody's investment of those two resources in your content if you want to stay friends. Yeah. And of course, the people who will be reading this book, the people who will be using this book have got something. It's helping people, so I think that there is this sort of massive potential for people to read themselves into a better place, and the more we can, as publishers, as book coaches, as ghostwriters, can help people do that, the better. It's a win-win-win situation, isn't it? The most important question,
exactly.
Ginny, what did you do when you found out? What did you do when you found out you'd been shortlisted?
Well, it was a bit frustrating because I wanted to be at the shortlisting reveal, but I was on holiday in Spain, sad to say. I mean, not that I'm expecting the violins to come out, but I was there with my husband, so I logged into the live stream. So I thought, well, I need to find out who's been shortlisted, and of course I was delighted that my book was shortlisted. So I don't know, I can't even quite remember what we did. I think I might have had a glass of cava, maybe. I don't know. But it's kind of a bit weird when there's only the two of you. There's not really anyone to tell or to talk to about it. So I mean, it was great. It really made my holiday. It started off the whole thing on a fantastic note, and really lovely thing. So yeah,
that's brilliant. I've got a vision of you doing Google Translate on. I have just been shortlisted in the Business Book Awards and going out and telling people in the street in Spanish. No, you didn't do that. It was a wasted opportunity, Ginny.
There you go.
Next time.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Ginny's book, as all the books that have been shortlisted, are currently 99p or 99 cents on the Kindle store. So you be the judge. Have a look at it. And certainly if you're going to be writing a self-help book, if you have that ambition, you kind of need to start here. It'll save yourself a lot of grief. But Ginny, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on being shortlisted. Good luck at the finals. You're going to be there?
I am. I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah, in person this time.
Get off. Fantastic. Get our frocks out. Fantastic. Brilliant. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Ginny. It's been great talking to you.
You too, Alison. Thank you.